What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got another episode of The Drive-In, where I bring you guys my thoughts and reviews on recent movies that have just come out recently or are due out soon. And today I've got something a little bit different for you guys. For the first time on this channel in particular, I'm going to be covering an indie film. I want to support local artists. I want to support shorts. I want to bring you guys more film content in general, whether it's major films or indie films. But I want other local artists to send me their films so that I can review them on this channel and hopefully give a little extra exposure to the indie companies out there. As you guys might know, I'm an indie film director. I act in short films. I produce small novels, novellas, poetry, and horror. I'm very active in the both writing community in terms of scripts, theater plays, books, all that stuff. So I thrive on the exposure and the positive words of other people to review my work, and I want to do the same for other indie films. So today I'm reviewing an indie film from some people that I have talked to online and been involved with on Twitter and social media and stuff like that. This is a film called That Night. I'm very excited to review this one. So this film, this short 26-minute independent horror film, is called That Night. It was written by Jennifer Nangle and Garrett Lee, directed by Brian Gerson and Joseph R. Davis, starring Jennifer Nangle, Garrett Lee, Amanda Cano, and Raymond Vincic Williams. And this is the story, essentially, of this couple who is a little despondent. They've obviously been together a long time, but are disconnected, feeling a little separated. You sense a lot of tension with them. They're going to an engagement party for their friends. Their friends are getting engaged. They're going to join this party in progress. And some things take a weird turn, and they wind up being prisoners to another couple that is hosting this party. I'm not going to really give any big spoilers away. I'm not going to spoil any major plot points or anything. This film does not release officially until January 31st, but I just did want to give some quick basic thoughts on how this thing went. First things first, I really enjoyed the script. Jennifer Nangle and Garrett Lee wrote this script, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, for being a short, shorts are very tough because you have to get a lot of important backstory and character connections and make the audience connect with a story in a very short amount of time. This script being 26 minutes, I really thought they did a good job of getting all the characters over and making the audience understand the relationship of these characters. Jennifer Nangle and Garrett Lee both starred in this movie as well. They were the couple that you joined in progress, and you could see there was a lot of tension. They didn't really get along. They loved each other, but something was really missing and disconnected. And they did a very good job of not only crafting their relationship, but crafting the backstory of their characters and why they didn't really get along. They had gone through a major life event that gets talked about later in the film that I won't spoil here, but they really did a good job of creating tension and showing what this event was that made them feel like they couldn't be the couple they had been for however many years. The acting in this thing was very powerful. I gotta say, it was one of the standouts, especially the main four. I think in a lot of these indie films, a lot of times you don't really get the strongest acting, or the acting can be inconsistent. But in this case, for an indie short, this was very, very powerfully acted. I really enjoyed all the characters. There were no weak links in this, but especially the main four. Raymond Williams, Amanda Cano, Garrett Lee, and Jennifer Nangle did a very good job of capturing all the different aspects of this, from the party aspect, getting to know the cast of characters in the background, all the way through the horror turn that this film takes when we get into a murderous prison type of atmosphere, which I won't give away, but I really enjoyed that. Nangle's a powerhouse. She really does a good job capturing the terror. Everything, all the reactions seem very realistic in this. Garrett Lee's character had a nice little innocence to him. Again, they played the chemistry of both these couples, for Williams and Cano as well. Two different spectrums of couples, two different styles, but did a nice job of playing both the innocence and the terror later in the film. So it's a nice dichotomy of the two sides of the story. Like I said, the backstory was very good. Every character kind of had some cool motivations. Again, one of the biggest things too in the script and in the acting that I have to give praise for The casting was well done, and the dialogue was very realistic. And a lot of these short films, you don't hear realistic dialogue. It sounds very canned. It sounds very campy. But not in this one. The dialogue was pretty well done. Everything sounded natural. The timing between the actors was very good. There weren't any overly done pauses or anything. The inflection was good. It seemed like everyone kind of off screen was friends. You could sort of see some chemistry, and you could sort of see the beats were done well. The characters took the right amount of time between lines. Everything was delivered like you would talk to somebody. There was a couple of funny lines in here. There wasn't a ton of comedy in this horror short. It was mostly drama and then horror, but some of the comedy lines were funny. I liked the homage to Britney Spears' marriage. They made a mention of Britney Spears' marriage. One of the guys gets called out for not wanting to take a shot. He gets called a pussy or a bitch or something like that. So that was pretty funny there. Good chemistry in the characters. And also you could see a couple of DVDs on the background of the shelf. They did a good job of making less mean more. They took essentially one, maybe two sets and made the most out of it. They really only had one location, maybe a second one. I don't know if the end part was shot in a second place, but they did a really good job of minimalistic locations, making the most out of somebody's house I'm sure they shot at, which was well decorated. Good set decoration, looked very realistic, which was nice. And also steady long takes. I really enjoyed the camera work in this. They had several long takes where it was meant to build tension. They did a nice job early on of kind of using silence as some of the background noise, just kind of the natural ambience to build suspense with the couple. And then later on, it was just a lot of vocalizing from Nangle, the main actress in this movie. And they just kind of let her terror kind of be the soundtrack, where there wasn't a whole lot of background noise. They did use a couple of things for score, and I enjoyed the score. It was a nice little bit of tension there, but they didn't overuse it. It was a lot of silence they used to build the tension in this, which was done well. It can really be boring and flat if it's not paced well, but this was paced pretty well. And then, again, with the long takes, there were some that were walking long takes from the car to the house back to the car, and also a couple of Steadicam takes as well. And it wasn't too shaky, it wasn't overly done, it wasn't verbose. I really enjoyed the way they chose to use that camera. And again, it seemed very clean. Everything was clean in this movie. The dialogue, the sound design was clean in general. The placement of the score was clean. And the audio and the video both looked really good. This didn't look like a low-budget indie film. They definitely put money into their equipment. They put time into the editing. It was cut together nicely. And so I can't say enough good things about this. Again, it's 26 minutes, but it feels like it's even shorter because it's paced well. And there's really no wasted time. You do see a bit of a build at first. There are a couple long takes when they're trying to build things, but it all comes together in the end, and you feel a bit of a journey for the main characters, the two couples. The one you kind of see work in the room early on, and the other one, like I said, the married couple. You kind of watch their journey from obviously being together to having tension to kind of coming together in the end, and then some things happen that are some tearjerkers. It makes you kind of feel a bunch of a bevy of emotions for these characters. So I like the horror aspect of this. I also like the character building, and they did a good job in a short time with minimal cast and crew, minimal backgrounds, making this a fun little horror romp. So I suggest you guys check this out. It is officially getting released on January 31st. It'll be released, I believe, through the YouTube link that I received, which is currently private. I believe that's going public on the 31st, as well as on their Facebook page. So if you go to Facebook and type in That Night, the movie is called That Night. If you type that in, you can go like their Facebook page and follow the official release on there. You can also check out their official poster, their trailer, and their promotional photos, which are all really cool. So please check that out. Again, can't say enough good things about this. I love indie horror. I love building tension. I love focus on characters. And I love being able to make the most out of little things. So I really enjoyed this. Anytime there's a story-driven or character-driven plot, it always gets my attention. So continue on with the indie horror. You guys are phenomenal. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with next. And anybody else that has indie horror they would like me to review and get exposure for on my channel, I will post that video on social media and keep in touch with you. So continue to send me all the indie horror you guys would like. And I hope you guys out there that are on my channel for all different reasons, go and check out That Night on January 31st. I will see you guys soon. Take care.